It was encased in rock dated over 2.6 billion years old. Made of a metal no one could identify, smooth, black, and lightless. It didn't reflect the sun. It didn't even cast a proper shadow. It had survived for eons when it should have been buried by tectonic drift, destroyed by millions of pounds of pressure, melted by extinction-level asteroid strikes. But it was pristine, and shallow enough for us to discover it. That's what convinced Professor Nomi Kyer that it wasn't just coincidence it had survived. We were meant to discover it. It hummed. Softly. Persistently. For months, Kyer and her team tried to open it, probe it, scan it. Every method failed. It was as if the object didn't exist in full within our reality. Only just enough to be touched, not known in any physical sense of the word. They tried, endlessly, to unlock it, to understand why it was here, what it had to tell us. But nothing they tried produced any results. So when Newtonian physics couldn't make any sense of it, they went quantum. Dr. Ren Sakamoto was the one who figured it out. A particle physicist called in to see if it would respond to quantum mechanics. She had proposed a theory about how quantum entanglement could be used for communication, and seemed like the right woman for the job. "It's a communication device," she said after only a day of testing. "Matter may be confounded by the cosmic speed limit, but information travels instantly, no matter the distance. It's called quantum entanglement. Entangle two particles, keep one, send the other to the other side of the galaxy, and the other one reacts immediately. Turn that into a communication device, and you can make cosmic phone calls faster than downloading a movie across the universe. That's what this is, a cosmic telephone." She proposed that an alien civilization had left it here billions of years ago for us. They had passed through our solar system and seen that it had the potential to produce life, so they left it here to speak with whoever evolved. So she tested it, and she was right. It responded not to tools or language, but to computation, a specific quantum interference pattern generated by entangled particles. Something only a civilization with deep mastery of quantum mechanics could produce. When we fired Sakamoto's beam of electrons at it, the response was immediate. There was a spike, a shift in its internal spin, a cascade of quantum behavior none of our models could explain. That was the moment the universe knew we were here. We were elated. We had elevated ourselves to the point where we had joined the ranks of species who had mastered interstellar communication. We weren't alone anymore. Kyer and Sakamoto were flown to Geneva. The device was seized by the UN and buried under kilometers of steel and regulation. Every nation wanted it. No one trusted anyone else with it. It made me think that perhaps we weren't ready for it after all. But we knew we had contacted someone, so we waited. Yet if we had just made a cosmic phone call, no one had answered. And with no answer forthcoming, instead of waiting for our intergalactic brethren to pick up the phone, we started working on figuring out what message we had sent. Or rather, were sending. The device was still actively transmitting, and Sakamoto and Kyer began interpreting the message. By then, I was out of the loop. But since I still had security clearance, Kyer could at least pretend I was still of some value to the project, and emailed me regularly. That was until she went quiet for a few weeks. I didn't think much of it until, out of the blue, I received an email from her. Coordinates. It's sending out coordinates. Sakamoto's worried. "I'm bringing you back in. I need you. Pack your bags." Although I was happy to be back on the project, the mood was different now. Earth's coordinates were being transmitted somewhere. A one-way call with no explanation. That could mean a lot of things, but a lot of those things were bad. There were endless meetings, discussions that lasted hours, days, weeks. We grew tired of debating why it was broadcasting Earth's coordinates to somewhere. And it wasn't until we brought in a philosopher who made an offhanded comment about the dark forest that it dawned on us what we had done. But now it was too late. The device wasn't a cosmic telephone, a relic of benevolent intelligence who wanted to chat. It was a tripwire, a cosmic flare. It was a test, planted in countless worlds, seated in the bedrock, not to communicate, but to detect. Only a civilization that advanced far enough would ever find it. Only a species clever enough to master entanglement would ever trigger it. And when they did, when we did, it sent a signal. A civilization so old it no longer visits, no longer explores, no longer risks discovery. It only listens. And when it sees the flare from a new intelligence that could one day reach them in the dark forest, it cuts down the sprout before it becomes a tree. It's now been 9 months since the device alerted them to the threat we represent. The sky flickers. The northern lights pulse unnaturally at equator latitudes. Instruments pick up gravitational waves from a fixed point outside the solar system. We don't know what's happening, just that something is coming. Not at light speed, not with ships or weapons, but with something that feels mathematical, beyond our comprehension, and more importantly, beyond our ability to fight back against. A protocol playing out like a physics equation, a solution to a question we were foolish enough to ask. The world governments say nothing, but society knows. We know in the silence of the news feeds, in the empty launch pads where rockets used to fly, in the quiet collapse of markets, of currencies, of belief. We are not preparing for contact. We are preparing for extinction. The device sits humming. Only now we understand that it never cared what we had to say. It was only waiting until we could say it. And now that we have, they know. And now that they know, they are coming.